everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be about dance technique and doing well with your solo. So I made a list and I want to cover a few topics that can help make your solo successful for dance competition. So the first topic we are going to talk about is technique. And I'm sure your dance teachers are always telling you, straighten your legs, point your feet, relax your shoulders. And there's so many things that can really make your technique better, and taking multiple ballet classes a week and other genres of dance such as jazz, modern, tap. You want to be versatile, so you want to be able to do multiple styles of dance, and you also want to apply the corrections given to you. If you are given a correction one week, and by the next week you still haven't thought about improving it, and then it goes into weeks and weeks of still not fixing that same step, how are you going to fix the next correction if you still haven't fixed the correction given to you weeks prior? So you want to make sure that you are conscious of your corrections from your teachers and always wanting to improve and doing the work. Even when you leave the dance studio, you still want to stretch at home. If you are able to do exercises in your home where you have enough space, I recommend doing that, because with consistency becomes progress. If you want to get a split, you can't just wait to go to your dance class once, twice, 3 times a week. You definitely have to give it time. If you sit in your split, of course, warm up first and really breathe into it. And eventually, if you are consistent with it and you keep working on it, you will get that split, and eventually you'll get your oversplit. So technique is a topic in itself, and if you guys want to see tutorials on specific steps, let me know and I would love to make those for you. Also, going with technique, because there is so much that goes with technique. For example, we all know that we have to point our feet. We also have to straighten our legs in a kick and a leap. And when we turn, we have to make sure that we are spotting and our arms are in the right placement and our feet are in the right placement. But it all comes from the mind as well. So once you make that mind-muscle connection, then it will be a lot easier to advance your technique, because you are aware of what you should be feeling. If you're doing a leap and you're flexing your feet and you don't realize it, have somebody watch you. Or what I love to do is tape myself, because sometimes I can be doing something that I'm not feeling, and then when I see it, then I can apply the correction. Just some tips that I've used that you could think about. The next topic that we're going to cover is performance. So if you didn't see my last video about tips on performing, then I will link it down below and you guys could check that out. But performance goes hand in hand with technique, especially if it is a lyrical dance or a jazz dance. If your choreographer has given you turns, kicks, extensions, leaps, or anything in between, you want to make sure that you are giving the proper placement and the right form, so you don't get that critique from the judges. That's important, unless of course if you're told to do a flex foot, or maybe it's choreography to lean or do something specific, then that is in its own, and listen to your choreographer, because that's their vision for the piece that they choreographed. Going into performance, you have to make sure that you are believable. You want to make sure that you are projecting the story that your choreographer has given you, or if they told you to come up with your own story and how you relate to that music, then you have to make sure that you perform that. So it's believing that you are that character. It's making eye contact, unless if your choreography is telling you to look up or you're looking down, but most of the time we are projecting to our viewers, projecting to the judges, or sometimes you'll get a note to project to the back of the auditorium. You want to make a connection with people that are sitting in the audience. So you really just want to make sure that you are being present and letting everybody know that you are speaking to them while you are dancing. Another tip for performing that I like to give my students and myself is, if you tend to be looking down because you're shy, or maybe you're just thinking, try to watch yourself in the mirror. And I mean, make eye contact with yourself while you are dancing, and it will help you to be focused on looking out. So when it does get time to perform it on the stage without the mirror, you're already accustomed to keeping your eyes up and out, and it will be a lot easier than looking down to think or maybe be in your comfort zone. My third topic is appearance and presentation. That is extremely important because a judge is also going to critique you on your costume, your hair, your makeup, your shoes, your tights, if the music is appropriate for your age division. These are all things to factor in. Usually with music, it depends on the studio, but if your instructor is picking the music for you, then they are the professional and they know what's best for you. So I would not question them. But if you are asked by your instructor, maybe you're a senior, maybe you have the opportunity to pick something that you really like, just be mindful of the lyrics. You do want it to be age appropriate because there is a younger audience at competition. So we just want to be clear of that, and fun to watch. Now we picked our music and we have our choreography, we are emotionally connected, and on the dance aspect, we feel great and ready to go. How does your costume look? Did you have a costume that you rolled up in a ball and put in a corner of your room, waiting to pack it the night before competition? And then when you finally take it out, it is extremely wrinkled? Is your skirt pressed? Do you have runs in your tights? Do you have rips in your shoes? These are all just little things, because small details makes a big difference. And judges do look at that. You want to make sure that you have multiple pairs of tights and your clean pair of shoes for competition. And if you only have one pair, just be mindful that if it has rips in it, maybe get a new one the month before, just because it finishes the costume. So you would like to have that complete presentation. Your makeup, if you are not good with makeup, then I would definitely ask a friend, ask your dance teacher. There's always somebody that is really good with makeup in the dance studio, so ask them. They would love to help you because you want to have your makeup polished and clean. When it comes to hair, hairstyles can vary depending on what your teacher would like you to have. Make sure that it is neat, it is polished, and if it's supposed to be messy, then girl, go all out. My last topic is going to be about memory and execution. Going into memory, your mind is a muscle, and a lot of instructors, including myself, we recommend our students to take a lot of class that involves learning a chunk of choreography and performing it within that same hour. And what that does is it teaches you to pick up choreography, learn it, and then perform it without getting in your head. Because as dancers, we have learned so many routines throughout our career that we know we can memorize it, and we are accustomed to picking up choreography because that's just what we do. So why, when we're at an audition or we're about to go on stage, we freeze sometimes, or we can't pick it up, or our mind is going in different places? That goes back to your jitters. When you are nervous, when you're anxious, you start to think about the negative things. You start to think about all the other what ifs that should have been eliminated because you've been training and you've been practicing and you've been putting in the work. You will, with time, start getting used to picking up choreography, being in a stressful environment like an audition, because you obviously want that job and you want to put your best foot forward, and you'll just learn to just perform. Try to relax because dance is fun, that's why we do it, and then the memory will just happen. When you're worried too much about, am I gonna look good? What if I forget? Am I going to make a mistake? Then you're so focused on the negativity that the actual memory and the choreography that you just put in your body just went out the window. So remember, when you are relaxed, and I mean that lightly because I know stress happens, we get anxious, memory will come, but you do have to practice it. So the more classes that you take and the more experience that you get in picking up choreography, it will get easier with time. I also wanted to cover another topic, and that is transitions, because when we perform our solos, We have to remember that another reason why dancers will score high at competition is because of the flow of the routine. So you have a dancer, for example, that is performing beautifully. She is emoting, she's sharing the concept of the routine to her audience, and her technique is up to par. She is nailing her triple turns, her kicks are high, her hip placement is right on point, her feet are turned out and pointed, her arms are fully stretched, her shoulders are down. She's nailing it. Now, her transitions. So let's just say she came out of a triple turn beautifully, and her next step was maybe an emotional reach, or she did a hold or a picture. But going into that picture, she dropped her face, she looked down, she went out of that character, and then she went back into that character. So try to visualize what I mean by that. She was going in and out of character. So even though the steps that she did was executed to her fullest potential, she then dropped her energy to go into the next step with a lot of energy. And that is breaking the character. You want to make sure that you are sequencing your choreography where you never lose character, you're always engaging the audience, so your judges don't look down and they don't look away, they don't lose focus, they're just drawn into that dancer. Think about your transitions, and that also comes with technique. If you are coming out of a triple turn and you're jumping out of it, or you're falling out of it, if you're coming out of a kick and you're slamming that leg on the floor, or you're landing a leap without toe ball heel and you're slamming your foot on the floor, those are all transitions that can have a negative impact on your score. Think about those things. Even if your leap is beautiful and it's hyperextended and it's super high, if you don't land it the right way, which is very lightly because we want to protect our knees, then your judges will make a note of that and say, please be careful. We don't want you to hurt your knees. Practice your sautés in first position so you can distribute your weight a little bit more gentle when you land. Anyway, and if you guys are enjoying these competition videos, comment down below. As you can see, I love competition. I've done it my whole life. I am also a dance competition judge. I could talk about this topic all the time. I hope this helped you guys, and keep dancing, keep being inspired. It's only gonna get better. With a positive mind, you can and you will achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching.